Hello dear students, so welcome to another session where we learn the concept of hardware and the software. So again I am covering this unit from the chapter 1. So in this session we discuss the software. There are different type of the software, that is the system software and the application software. And then we discuss the different components which are making a whole computer system and its roles and responsibilities. So let's start today's session. First we see the hardware. Hardware comprises the physical components of our computer system which requires to make it functions in the proper fashion. In simple words we can say that all the parts which we are see, which we can touch or which we feel it, that are known as the hardware, because software we can't see by our eyes, we can't touch it and we can't feel it, but for the physical components we can do all these things. So it is nothing but a circuit board which operates with a personal computer. It may be your laptop, including your in that you can see the motherboard, graphic cards, CPU, and ventilation fan, webcam, power supply, and so it may sometimes it may contain printers, monitors, mouse, keyboards. So all such components make a complete hardware set for a computer system. So unique function for each hardware is defined, and to collaborate all these things we need a software. So all these things are dependent to each other. Move to the software section. So software is nothing but a set of instructions which are given to a computer, and that is known as a program. So program makes a by a number of statements which will pass through instructions. So program or a set of programs is called as a software. So it helps to interact with our system to order to perform a particular task. For example, to save a file we require the memory to save it, and these components are interact with each other by software, and the information that are stored in a system, that will be hardware. So software is a generic term which is used to describe with the computer programs or the computer instructions. So it is a generic term which we are often used in day-to-day life. So without software and hardware our system cannot complete, because these things are inseparable for each other. Now just move to the another section, that is the categorization of the software. So again the category are divided into open source, and next is the closed source software, open source and the closed source. So let's see more detail. In the figure it represents that the open source where we required a free license, and the closed source we are using the paid version of the resources. It means every time we have avail the service we need money to avail it, or a key to avail it. Let's discuss the few points about the open source software first. It is the software which are released for the code in the public domain. So for the people and by the people, this term is suited for this type of open source software, because it is openly available for a public. Anyone can download from the internet, anyone can access, modify and use as per its convenience. The source can be copied, modified and distributed by others, users and the organization. So in the world, number of organization, number of users use this type of coding to implement in their coding section and use for public interest. As the software is an open to public, so the result is, or the outcome is, we constantly update ourselves, improve and expand as more as the work on its improvement. Of course, it changes the whole globe because day by day or minute by minute it improves our software industry. So many states are use the policy of FOSS. It means free open source software policy. It enables them to save millions of rupees each year for paying the licensing cost. So this is open source, so they are free to access the cost of the license, because in the open source we need not pay this cost to organization. For example, in the Kerala state in India, in the news, as they have adopted these policy of FOSS and saves Indian rupees 300 crores as a licensing fees for proprietary or closed source software. Of course, it is an asset for this, and they can use this money for other development. Move to next session. Next session is the closed source software. It is an exactly opposite to open source software industry, because the software is used by the proprietary and has a closely guided code, or you can also say as a key. Without this key, the software is always unlocked. If anyone wants to use, it is partially behaves. It means it not give you full fledged advantages of usage. So if you want this type of software, you have to pay its cost. Only the original author of the organization of the software can access, copy and alter this software as per their convenience, but it is always has the third party access. So in case of closed source software, user has to purchase the software before using it, and it is always costly and number of times. Nowadays students prefer and use open source software because they give you more opportunity to learn it. Next session we see the types of the software. Thank you for today.